Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream. Today, Ron Nicoletti along with Samantha Perry. And there you can see our three different racing surfaces. And just before we came on the air, Samantha said to me, "What a beautiful day." And I have to agree with you.
It really is. I would love to just sit out on the turf course and relax.
You got to work today. We got to work. So we got some good stuff going on. Of course, we had the inaugural Coast to Coast. We got it again this afternoon, so that'll be kicking off. I think kicks off real earlier than yesterday as far as Gulfstream racing goes. We'll talk about that in a little while. And then also we have a $150,000 gross jackpot guarantee in the Rainbow Six, which is going to start race number 5. And, of course, I will have a ticket. So fast main track, firm turf course, as Samantha said, Chamber of Commerce Day. We got it all going on here. So let's get right to the racing part of this show. And we'll check out Brian's early pick 5 ticket. And I'm always surprised. Oh, wow, this is a lot for Brian.
It is, yeah.
So he's going 3 deep in the first. We're going to talk about that in a moment. In the second race, he's single and Joyful Candy. He's got 2 in race number 3, Carolina Traffic and Hello Jack. In race number 4, he's got the 1 Brits Candyman and the 7-horse in, the 4-horse in there. And then in race number 5. Let's go right to 5. He's got lots of coverage. That's that maiden special weight filly race. That's really nice. That's a great betting race. And you got a video you want to show in there. That'll be a little later on. So very affordable $30 ticket for Brian this morning. And we'll copy that down and see how he does this afternoon. Let's go right to the first race today. 5 furlongs on the turf, maiden special weight filly 3-year-olds. We had a scratch of the 7 and a 13 and 15. Please note the number 14 is going to get in and run. And Samantha, I'm going to kick it off here because I actually have my best bet in this race today, and it is the number 1 horse, Lakeside Getaway. And I'll tell you why. This one is 10-1 on the morning line. Wheeling back, getting Lasix today. Now, this horse, you go back and look at its last race, rallied from far back to come winning ahead of defeating 50 maiden optional claimers. That was going 5 in the grass here last down. It's a daughter of violence. Here's what I like. We've known speed has been good on the turf here, but there is so much suspect speed in this race that I think it's going to set up for a horse like that at 10-1. Junior Alvarado, excellent rider. So, I think that the race just plays out for it. So with all that said, that is why it's my best bet this afternoon. You did go with the number 3, Accomplished Girl on top.
Yeah, she's making her first start here for the Savvy Joseph barn, her first start in her career. And she was a filly that, as a yearling, she sold for $22,000. And then they pinhooked her for the OBS sale, and she ended up selling for $227,000, or $275, pardon me. And she worked 9 and 3 that day at the sale, which is just blazing fast. I understand the price tag here. I love the way that she's been working at Gulfstream Park, and that kind of, even though they're running on the grass here, I still like the fact that she's been training locally. She doesn't have to ship at all, and Safi Joseph has been very hot as of late.
The number 2 horse in here, Calling All Angels, the Irish, but it's making a Gulfstream debut for Mark Cassie with Lasix added. They're 17% with their North American shippers, but I think you found the work that you wanted to show?
Yeah, I did, and I harp about this a lot, which is having first USA starters here in at Gulfstream Park, and you see she broke from the outside. I love the fact that Mark Cassie worked her from the gate here. A lot of trainers will not work these horses from the gate in preparation for their start, and it's a whole different ball game. Now, she got the jump on her workmate here, but then she just kind of settled in a little bit, and I love the fact that she just kind of inched up, and by the end of this work, she ends up galloping past Erskine, which that horse actually ran a few weeks ago. That horse is going to need a couple outs, I think, but as you can see, they had to go around a Barclay tag worker. I just really like how professional this was. Now, is she going to win this time here? I don't know. It's always tough having a horse come here from the United States to the United States for the first time and run, but at least she's got that foundation. It almost looks like to me the longer that she goes, the better she gets. So 5 might be a little sharp.
Looked like a 12-horse field out there with all those workmates out there. So she did a good job. I'm glad you did that. And that's a good point. I didn't know that they did not work horses out of the gate for her first time in North America. So not everybody, some might, but that one did. So the other horse that you had some interest in was the 6, and that's Sure Can, Brian Lynch's barn. Good price on the barn. Now, how good has Brian been going?
Oh, incredible. Yeah, he really has been firing hot and winning almost a race today. He didn't yesterday, but and he's here every day too. He he trains at Palm Meadows in the morning and then comes down to saddle his horses. Doesn't matter what type of level of race it is, he's here. So it's nice to see him.
Yep, and a good guy. So race number 2 today. Let's go. 6.5 furlongs. Claim is 4 and up. Non-winners of 3 in life. $6,250. Scratch the number 3, Midnight Tequila. And I went with the number 6 horse in here, Gilligan, who's trying to make it 2 in a row. And after using his speed to defeat a pair of next out winners at this level and distance. And there, see, oh, so did you.
Yep,
So,
I did as well. And actually, that is a single for me to kick off my early pick
let's
for.
go, yeah.
Yes. So I'm all with you in that. In race number 3, that's my best bet of the day. Or is it? No, it's not. Pardon me. It is not. Kind of a weaker 16,000 maiden race. I singled there. I think you either take all or you single. Race number 4, a little bit more coverage. The 1 is my top pick out of that race. And in race number 5, this is my best bet of the day. Worst Behavior making her first start here in the United States from Canada, which I really love the way those horses have been going, Ron. $1.50, you can add more, but this was just how I saw it.
I think you won the award. That's the lowest ticket that anybody's ever given out on the show, at least since I've been around. So $1.50, get it twice. It's $3. So getting back to this race, we both used Gilligan. And the other horse I thought really had a good shot in here was the 8, Joyful Candy, who's stretching out to 6.5 furlongs, responded to the surface switch from Tapita to dirt with a rousing victory. That was a 2 lifetime claimers at the 6,250 level, but it was a good performance.
Yeah, it really was. And I believe this is Brian's single as well on his pick 5 ticket. So, and you know, David Baracco's going to have a lot of options as well, drawing that outside post.
Yeah, he'll be able to sit and see what happens to his inside. What about the number 7, Rhymes Like Dimes?
A huge kind of question mark / for sale sign on this colt here, running an allowance level in New York and then dropping here for the 62.50. But Safi Joseph, I trust him with drops like this. Some other trainers I maybe would be a bit hesitant, but he's got a big barn. If this horse has some kind of issues, he's not afraid to lose one at all. And Irad Ortiz is riding, and he had a great day yesterday of riding.
And we both had a little interest in the number 1, Small Reason. Another trying 6.5. He rallied wide, actually, in that race to finish second against this level. Going 6. Shamir Mirage has got Luis Saez negotiating the added distance today.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be a problem for this horse. I think he's got the stamina to do it.
Let's go to race number 3 this afternoon. 7 furlongs on the fast main track. Maiden claiming 3-year-olds. $16,000. Did have a couple of scratches in here of the number 2, Barack, and the number 8, Hollywood Hero, excuse me. And you went with the number 6, one of the horses that you singled, and it's Hello Jack.
Yep, Hello Jack from the Pete Walder barn. Irad Ortiz in the saddle again. This horse has been super popular at the claim box as of late. I like that he's been freshened up a little bit, Ron, since the claim from Daniel Hardtack. And this race, it's not a bunch of world beaters in here. He's getting Lasix for the first time. And I just like the way this barn does first off a claim.
Yeah, this is their angle here, about 20%. But I like the point, and they do it all the time. When they claim a horse, they don't just jam it right back. They give it some time off. I did go to the inside horse with Carolina Traffic, who's stretching out to 7 furlongs. Going to get Lasix today after finishing a solid second. That was against 25 maidens going 3/4 of a mile. So I think that the drop to the 16 level looks like a winning move to me in here.
Yeah, it really does. The only thing may be the post position, but Jose Morelos just been doing fantastic as of late.
Oh, yeah. Some riders here, they're not the top tier, have been riding fantastic, and he's one of them. And that's a pretty, you know, it goes between the 1 and the 7, you know, maybe something like that. And the 3, you know, Sean, with Paco Lopez, maybe grab a share.
Yeah, they possibly could. And it's a tough race. It's one that you take a stand or you use the all button.
Exactly.
Your favorite button.
My favorite. Not going to go into that right now. 4th race this afternoon is 5 furlongs on the about a distance on the Tapita Claimers, 4 and up, non-winners of 3 in life, or a race since July 8th, 20 down to 16. Did have a scratch today of the number 6, Royal Mahogany in here, and we both went with the number 1, Brits Candyman, is cutting back to 5 furlongs, returned from that layoff to defeat those state-bred runners.
Yeah, it was a nice victory at that, and they're not getting too greedy with this horse either. They're just jamming this one back in for the $20,000 level, and, you know, it's a little bit of a drop, but I think in this type of race, and now getting with open breds again, I think this is just a nice spot, a cozy spot.
Yeah, it's good for this horse, too. And Luis Saez, certainly Rowan Crichton's like 24% winning consecutive races. We both had some interest in the two. The Predicament moves to the Chris Davis barn after the claim. Duel throughout, finished second as the favorite against those claimers on the Tapeta. He's going to get class checked today.
Yeah, really will. But this barn might be peaking at the right time. 2 wins yesterday. Both of those were main special weight races. So, I mean, when barns get hot, it's good to keep playing them.
You know, the number 5 horse is a little intriguing here, and I know you pulled a victory on Villegas Swing and this back. And you know, we'll see how it is here, and I think we're going to pick up the stretch run of this race. And there you said, you know, 6-1 ran very well in this race.
He did, and what I like about him and why I wanted to show this, although I did not select him, but I just think that he's worth noting. He was on the lead the whole time this race, and we've seen on these Tapeta races that being in the lead is really not where you want to be, and it looked like the number 2 was just going to fly by him, but he hung in really, really game, which you'd like to see here.
Yeah, a game performance, and you know, you're getting a good price on him today. We have a 50-1 that's going to change, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, we lost one of the favorites in the race, the Scratch of Royal Mahogany. Had a little bit of interest in the number 7 horse in here, Uranium, who goes to the Bayer barn, returns to the Tapeta. Went up last time, set the pace, finished third. That was against 20 claimers, going 6 in the slop. This barn has been doing good. They haven't done it a lot yet, but they're about 22% with new claims. Thought maybe that one would have a share.
Yeah, and only 2 starts on the Tapeta surface here. 1 win and 1 second. So this is obviously a surface that he does like.
We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have my Rainbow Six ticket, and it will not be $1.50.
This is a championship meet. All the best jockeys in the world are here, and I'm excited to ride against them.
We back.
And you get to watch some really incredible, talented athletes out there.
To us, it's a place to be in the winter.
I love Gulfstream Park because of the racing.
The palm trees, the beach is right here. The horse racing is some of the best in the country.
A lot of good horses come out of here. If you want to go to the next level, Gulfstream Park was the place to come.
I remember the first time I came to Gulfstream, it was like this big fairy tale place. All the history. And all these great horses, trainers, jockeys. It was everything that I ever dreamed of.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today, Ron and Samantha. The 5th race this afternoon is going to be 7.5 furlongs on the turf, maiden special weight filly 3-0s, and it is a great race, you know, betting wise, and it's going to kick off the Rainbow Six. My ticket is 43.20, which I like to play. Most of the time, I like to get that coverage in there. We'll talk about the 5th race in a moment. In race number 6, Too Deep, I'm going to use the number 9 Grand Soiree and the number 5 Bourbon Ready. In race number 7. Joe DiBaggio is one of my favorite horses. I love the name. He doesn't like the slop, and that's what happened to him last time. And Ben Copenhagen. Race number 8, I went to the outside. I've been getting beat with these 7.5 furlongs, but I just think this horse is going to run bad. But I used Her Ladyship to 1 and Be My Sunshine. In race number 9, Mr. Ripple is my top pick, the 5th, along with Rudder's Men. That is a fantastic race this afternoon. We're going to show you Rudder's Men, a video of that. And then the last race got my long shot today, number 2, Stormy Victory, 15-1 on the morning line. This horse is a horse I really like this afternoon, so I only went too deep in there. 43.20 for me.
It's a nice ticket run. I like the last leg. That's a fun one.
Yeah, so we'll say and it's similar to what you did. You either got to go with your long shot, and you know maybe you're lucky enough to put a horse with it, or take the whole field. So couldn't do that. Getting back to the 5th, 7.5 on the turf, maiden special weight filly 3-year-olds, full field here, and of 11. I did go to the inside horse, and I'll kick it off in here with the number 1 Sassiness, who's an Ontario-bred daughter of Uncle Mo, and a half-sister to a horse that made $1.8 million, a Grade 1 winner called Up With the Birds, ran mostly up there in Canada, debuting for Todd with Lasix, Arad Ortiz Jr. I just think it's so intriguing. When I saw Uncle Mo, an Ontario bred, and half to a millionaire, multi-millionaire almost. So I threw that one on top of my ticket.
Yeah, and it's not a bad selection. My biggest knock would be the one post position in debuting 2 turns for the first time. Now, Todd Pletcher's one that can have one ready for that, but that one post position, that's tough. But if anybody can work out a trip, it's Irad from there, which is who she gets today.
Yeah, you went with the number 7, worst behavior. Going to turn back just a little bit this afternoon.
Yeah, and I don't mind this turn back at all, and I love the way that these horses from Canada have been coming now. She is making her 2nd start here at Gulfstream Park, and I almost like that even better, Ron, because they just get the race under their belt, get a lay of the land a little bit more here, and get a little more air in their lungs for this out.
The other horse that you have in 2nd, I have in 3rd, is Breath Away. The British bred is a daughter of Bated Breath and a half-sister to Grade 2 Stakes, placed actually breathless, debuting for Christoph, sharp morning work tab. And when you know better than anybody, working over the Payson Park training track really builds them up in the morning.
Yeah, it really does. It's just a deeper surface there. And, Christophe Clement, we were talking about stats the other day, and not the strongest stats as far as first-time starters on turf. He's 7 for 49 at Gulfstream Park, but I still think that this filly's worth mentioning.
And that's that. Maybe because last year we didn't have a lot of turf racing. Maybe it's skewed a little bit,
yeah.
I know you got an interest in the number 2, Elysian Field, and you actually have a video you want to point out.
Yeah, this was the debut at Saratoga here. This horse is all the way in the back of the field here. And watch this move. It was so incredible, especially just going 5.5 furlongs. 7 or 8 wide here on the turn. She pins her ears back and just bellies down. I love that just gutsy move here. A lot of horses, especially first time out, they'll just give up by that point. And riders as well. Jockey Jose Gomez, who is nominated for Apprentice Jockey Eclipse Award, he just was so game with her and ended up running 2nd. That was a really, really nice race. She's stretching out here for the Mark Cassie barn, and just a lot of things to like.
And as you mentioned, Jose Morelos a little earlier, he'll be on this horse today, so you're going to get a good ride. So
exactly.
Very good. So that is race 5, and that's where the Rainbow Six is going to start. And race 6 is where the late pick 5 is going to start at 6 furlongs, maiden optional claimer, 4 and up, or the optional tag of $40,000, full field of 10. Let's see your ticket.
Yeah, let's take a look at it here. $18. 2 horses in the 6th leg, and we'll go over that in just a moment. In race number 7 here, my top pick is the 2, Carmel Chip. Going to try that horse again. In race number 8, a really nice maiden special weight race again. The number 7 is my top pick, Bo Derek. We'll get to that. I had some education on who she is. Race number 9, the number 2, Litigate, is my top pick for the Todd Pletcher barn. And in race 10, I'm singling with the number 8, the Sleepy Chipmunk, which is how probably we'll feel by the end of the day.
$18. You really stepped it up after that $1.50 in the early pick 4. So let's get to this 6th race. It's 6 furlongs. Maiden optional claimer, as I said, 4 and up. Optional tag is $40,000. You went with the number 7 horse in here, and that's Frosted Faith. It was 5 for 6 in the money on the fast track.
Yeah, this is a horse that I really like today. And getting Irad, which is just so key as well. Anthony Margada, he's sneaky with these horses. I know Irad, the horse is going to take some money because of Irad, I should say. But still, this seems like the logical horse here.
Anthony Margada, the sharpest dressed guy around there.
Yeah,
all the
most
time.
definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like him. He's a good friend. I like him. And this horse, why did I mention 5 for 6 in money on the fast track? This is going to be a fast track today. This horse was on the Tapeta. I think this is a great move in here. I did go with Grand Soiree, who was 2nd in his 50 maiden optional claiming debut on the dirt. Now, that was a long time ago. It was last December. Goes back to the main track. Now, he returns from that long layoff to finish a duel for the lead 4th as the favorite that day against 40 maiden optional claimers on the Tapeta here last out. I think that was just a stepping stone for this today. And Danny Gargan and Jose Ortiz.
Yeah, and it's not like he didn't handle the Tapeta surface at all. It was just exactly like you said, a stepping stone for this race here. He's spotted perfect for it.
And the number 5 horse, Bourbon Ready, is dropping to this level after showing speed and finishing 3rd in a pair of maiden special weight sprints here during March and April. I found the stat with Todd Pletcher. 180-day plus layoff sprints on the dirt at Gulfstream. Oh, he's only 42% at 60% in the money.
Wow.
With a $235 return investment. This is one of the, you do these stats and you take a double take. And that is the most amazing stat.
It is, yeah.
So take it what it is. And Luis Saez, I
Yeah.
mean, that's amazing. So let's go to race number 7 this afternoon. This one's going to be 6.5 furlongs. Claim is 4 and up, $8,000. Brian has his late pick 4 ticket here. And let's see if he can match that $1.50. 40. Whoa, Brian really stepped it up
He
this
did.
afternoon.
It's a competitive sequence, so he's trying to get some money for his Monday, Tuesday days off.
Yeah, and I agree with him with this race. It's wide open. If you don't really like Joe DiMaggio getting back to a fast track, we'll talk about that race. Hey, he did use my 11 in there along with the 7, so the moral turpitude is that number 11 I was alluding to. Too deep in race number 9. He went with the 2-horse in there, Litigate, who you like a lot, and the number 6, Rudder's Men, and lots of coverage in the last race, and I could see he's got my long shot on the ticket. Now, remember, it was my long shot. He's going to try and say it was his later on, but it is mine.
All right, it's in the record now.
It's in the record right now. I got to start it off with my buddy Joe DiMaggio. He's dropping to the 8 level today and hoping for clear skies, which he's going to get today. He stepped up off the claim by Gary Jackson and failed to fire when facing those 16 starter optional claimers. That was going 7 in the slop. This is an 8-time local winner. 0 for 4 on the wet track. That's what I'm banking on.
Yeah, he doesn't like it. He's 7 years old. He's decided he likes what he likes, and it's not that.
What about the number 2, Caramel Chip?
Caramel Chip, this is a horse I think a lot of us were on last out. Just not the best effort. Taking a pretty aggressive drop in class. The Amador Sanchez barn has been heating up. I like that a lot here, and I think this is this horse's level now. He was good at one point, but I think that this is his playing field, and I'm excited to see him back here.
The number 4, Ben Copenhagen, is stretching out to the 6.5 after stalking the pace and rallying the scorer, going 6 on the wet track listed as good. Antonio, how good has that barn been going?
Oh, yeah.
They've been winning a lot of races. Jose Morella's going for 2 in a row. Just thought this was a logical contender in here.
Yeah, and he'll be a nice little stalking horse of the pace here, and it was a weak field that he beat last time, Ron. That's why I put him a little bit further. But sometimes when horses get going on the up and up, it's hard to keep them down. They put him back in a couple weeks later, so it kind of just seems like all systems go.
Yeah, and a horse that's going to turn back today, Examiner, I think has a shot for Orme Mirage. 3 for 9 when turning back in distance. The barn is at least Jose Ortiz named to ride.
Yeah, I just wonder if this horse is better longer. Might pick up some pieces late.
Right. Let's go to race number 8 this afternoon, and this one is 7.5 furlongs on the turf. Maiden special weight fillies, 3-year-old, scratched the 2, Lorana, out of the race in here. And, you did use it a little further down the 11 here. Moral Turpitude. It's turning back to 7.5 furlongs with Lasix added. Promising turf debut. She rallied late to finish 5th, but you go back, she was only beaten 1 1/4 lengths by Erna, who didn't run badly yesterday.
No, not at all.
In the Ginger Brew Stakes. I think she was on the lead right until the end.
Yeah, she was. I think it's either 3rd or 4th. I can't remember if somebody nipped her or not. But yeah, I mean, and I have it highlighted because I wanted to see how Erna ran yesterday to kind of match her up here today.
Well, now that you know everything you need to know about Bo Derek, you put this one right on top of your ticket.
Yes, I did. It was our conversation that changed it. No, this is a filly that they debuted her 6 furlongs in the slop at Churchill Downs. And it's not like she didn't try. She picked up her feet some. But speaking of picking up her feet, when you look at her works on XBTV at Palm Beach Downs, she's got massive high knee action, which is exactly what you want to see for a turf horse here. I love the fact that she's getting on the grass today, 7.5 furlongs, so she's getting more distance as well, which is where you want to see probably with her. Todd Pletcher, 5 for 51, dirt to turf, maiden second-time starter, so not the highest kind of amount, but this is at Gulfstream Park, and sometimes some of these trainers wait till the summer to really crank up some of these horses, so I take it for what you will, but I love the way that she's been working.
You know, the inside horse to me is very intriguing in this spot. Her ladyship, who's a half sister to the stakes winner that we all know, Spielberg, who, of course, won most of its races, all of its races on the main track. Debuts on the turf after facing maiden special weight competition on the dirt in Kentucky. Rusty Arnold. He's 18% with both first-time turf and dirt to turf angles. Javier Castellano, 12 to 1 in the morning line. I find this was very intriguing.
It is, and I found another stat. I went down a deep dive of stats the other day. 9 for 86 with maidens on turf at Gulfstream Park.
9 for 86?
Yeah.
It's not very good. Yeah, it's not too bad, I guess.
No, it's not horrible. At least she's got some starts behind her, which is a good thing.
Now, what'd you see with the number 6 horse? And you had a little further down. It's Be My Sunshine from Saffie Joseph Jr.
Saffie Joseph, can't say enough good things about his barn and just kind of the way he works these horses in the mornings. Now, this is bred and owned by the Ramseys, which I've said before and I'll say again, the Ramseys have kind of gotten out a little bit of owning horses. They're still breeding, but not as much owning. Well, they've kept this horse, which I do like a lot here. Just a very even workhorse, and I think that the grass is the good spot for her.
Great race to get some action done in there. But
Yep.
the big race of the day really is the 9th race this afternoon. A 1 mile allowance. Optional claim is 3-year-olds or the optional tag of 75,000. Did have a couple of scratches of the 1 Deer District and the number 7 Live is Life. And let's start it off with the video that you have of Rudder's Men. It's impressive.
Yeah, it really is. This was at the Belmont at Aqueduct meet, just 1 to 2. There were no surprises with him and the fashion in which he ran, Ron. And this was super impressive. And I am completely willing to be wrong today, but I am against him. I loved this. But then when I went and watched the workout at Palm Beach Downs, he was so rank early on January 1st, just head up in the rider's face. Just never really settled in, just a bit rank to me. I kind of wonder if he's going to be like that today as well. Now, if he gets him to settle, Irad could definitely work out a trip with this horse. He's got very good hands with settling one, but I'm just not so sure.
Hey, you got to take a stand here.
Yeah.
You did go with the 2 Litigate, and this one is another one of 2 in the race from Todd Pletcher.
Yeah, and this horse will probably not be bet as much as Rudder's Men, so if you want to ride with me on this, I think we'll get a better price here. Won his debut, and that was at Aqueduct. Didn't take a lot of money there, but I liked the way he did it. He's a very athletic son of Blame. Blames can kind of be a bit more on the heavy side, but I love that he's a bit more, I don't want to say fit, but just athletic, a little more chiseled, I should say.
And if you look at Rudder's Men and the horse we're going to talk about next, Mr. Ripple, who I put on top, they just showed so much speed in their races. You know, you saw how that one won. And Litigate might end up sitting right behind the stablemate and getting the job done. You know, sit the perfect trip in this 1-turn mile. I was torn. I almost put this one on top. I think Brian did, and I think you did. I'm not sure because of the way the race is going to play out. But I just was so impressed with Mr. Ripple, who's the number 5, who's stepping up to face winners with Lasix. Now, he drew clear to win his. Here's what the key was. He won his 1 mile debut here during October, and he won it by 10 lengths just about. And it's Saffie. He readied this son of Dialed In for the return. He just flashed a 5-furlong bullet in 59-4. It was the best time of 35 workers at the distance, and it just looked like, what made me separate it? This one has won at a mile.
He has, and he won debuting at a mile, which here's 1 turn. So, okay, sometimes debuting at 2 turns is tough, but at the 8 out of 8 post position too, Ron, that's hard to do for a first-time starter, let alone at a mile. My biggest concern for him is what you alluded to. I think he's going to hook up with the 6.
Yeah.
And I think it will set up perfect for the 2.
Yeah, on paper, that's the way it plays out. Now let's go to race number 10, and this one is 7.5 furlongs on the turf. We've got a full field of 11. These are maiden claim is 4 and up, $20,000. And I'll tell you why my long shot is in here, and that's the number 2 Stormy Victory, as I mentioned before, is 15-1 on the morning line. Broke from a very tough post last time out, post 10. We've been watching every day, and I keep picking the outside horses. They just can't win when they're going 7.5 in the mile. Well, they get close, but this one and was caught in traffic at the 3/8 pole. Now he cuts back a little bit to 7.5. Should show improved speed from a more advantageous post. Rowan Creighton. Where's he go? He goes and gets Paco.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking the whole thing is going to turn around today.
Oh, yeah. He'll be so aggressive with this horse from the rail, which is, like you said, you want to see that here on the grass.
Yep. The number 4 is, oh, no, you went with the number 8 horse in here. And I know you love the name of this horse, the Sleepy Chipmunk.
Yeah, I think that's cute. Louis Saez is aboard. 2 starts back at Aqueduct. This horse technically had a win, but was disqualified and placed 3rd. So technically he has won a race, but not on paper. I think this horse will just set up a really good trip. And switching from Jose Gomez, who I mentioned earlier, incredible apprentice rider. He deserves to be in the Eclipse finalists. But Louis Sai is now just might be a bit more aggressive with him.
The number 4, Empire Attraction, is dropping to the 20 level after returning from an extended layoff at Aqueduct. Finished third against 40 maidens, going a mile in the 16th on the turf. So I found the stat with Danny Goggin. First after a 61 to 108 layoff on the turf right here at Gulfstream Park. He's 10 for 38, 26%, 53% in the money, and a positive return of investment.
I like that. And anytime they're over 50% in the money, it's like an automatic include in the try for me.
Yeah, you put them in the try, certainly. And we mention it all the time. You win, yes, but there's tries, there's superhero. There's lots of things you can do in here. We both had a little interest in the number 6 straight time. It goes to the Carlos David Bond after the claim stretches out on the turf, showed speed, sprinting on both turf and dirt.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the right one.
Yeah, obviously the sprinting hasn't really connected for this gelding yet. Carlos David, so good with first off the claim, and he had a first-time starter actually win yesterday, a maiden claiming race, but I read Ortiz in the saddle. He could be really set up for a big day today.
Yeah, the bond is 30% with new claims. I think this is a major part of the pace puzzle today in this final race. I think
Definitely.
with the stretch out, he'll be there. So that's how we see the 10 races today, but we're not done. We have our award-winning lightning round coming up right now with about 25 minutes to post. And why not start it off with the performance of candidate in the Dania Beach? Boy, this one just went and never looked back.
Yeah, this was so impressive. And it not even like he evened out at all. He quickened up again the last 16. That was very nice.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really good performance in that. So that was impressive, fooled me, but it was a really good performance.
Yeah.
What about your best bet today? What is that?
My best bet today is worst behavior, which is what you are on most of the time, huh, Ron?
That's a great best bet at 12 to 1. My best bet right in race number 1 this afternoon, currently on the board at 8 to 1, and that's like Lakeside Getaway. I think gets the pace to run well in there. And your long shot today?
It's Bo Derek here. Oh, wait. Pardon me. No, it's not. It sure can in race 1. Oh, I changed some things around. Sorry, guys. But sure can. This is a horse coming from the Brian Lynch barn. We talked about this very hot barn as of late.
My long shot is in the last 15 to 1. It is Stormy Victory. And of course, we had the inaugural Coast to Coast yesterday wager, the pick 5. And the best thing about it, it's only 15% takeout. And of course, we'll have it. There's the schedule for today. You're kicking it off, right? In race number 5 here with a 2:10 estimated off time. So just looking to see this wager. We'll talk about it a little bit more. If you bet it, what you got as far as payoff went. But first, I want to go back and show you the Ginger Brew, and this was a big favorite in here. Cairo Consort wins the Ginger Brew, and just a great race when they turned for home. It just was a good performance by the 3 horse in here. Just had to gut it out for the stretch.
Yeah, she really did, and you would think at 1 to 2 she would have won like Candidate did in the Dana Beach, but she had to work for it a little bit. But it was a nice debut. Excited to see kind of how that filly goes next.
Yeah, first time in Todd Pletcher's bond, so you expect good things from that. Here's the payout of the inaugural Coast to Coast, so we'll see what that came out. And there you see it. Wow. Well, that $1 paid $1,000.
That's pretty nice.
And you had a horse in there that you could almost single Cairo Consort.
Yeah, and one of the horses at Santa Anita as well, Thornhouse. He was a very heavy favorite as well. And today will be, I think, a bit more bombs away. A lot of maiden special weight races here at Gulfstream.
Well, that's it for us. We're going to turn it over to Pete Aiello with all the scratches and changes, and then we'll be back. We'll be joined later on in just a little while with Brian and, of course, Claudia throughout the afternoon. So make sure you come back and join us.
We're ready for the start. They're off.